My name is David Foster. My wife Nolene Magnuson and I travel throughout Australia looking for birds and spectacular scenery to photograph. Join us on our journeys through this great country of Australia. Hello and welcome to episode 5 of our 2024 big trip, where we travel from Ellery Creek to Katherine Gorge. Well, we've just crossed the Tropic of Capricorn. We're in the tropics. It's going to be warm and beautiful and wonderful from here on in.
Right. We've got rain predicted in the next couple of hours. Yeah, good.
What do you mean rain? They don't have rain up here at this time of the year.
Well, that's what the man said.
Well, as we drive along, nearly all of the traffic in front of us, and at least half the traffic coming towards us, are caravans, motorhomes, or travelling four-wheel drives. We left Ellery Creek yesterday morning, drove into Alice Springs, stocked up the larder and headed north. Spent last night at Tea Tree, and we just stopped for a short break at Barrow Creek. It's in the middle of nowhere. It was the site of one of the telegraph repeater stations, and is a rather unusual pub. It's well worth stopping just to go and visit the pub. But other than that, I don't think I'd bother stopping here. On our way to the Devil's Marbles. Well, here we are arriving at the Devil's Marbles. Karlu Karlu. A place we've visited many times, and a place we always enjoy coming back to.
Looks as though they've had a bit of rain. Site number 6. 7.
8. 10. 11. 12. And somebody's on site number 13.
They look as if they've been there for a while, don't they? So we were originally on 11, weren't we?
Mm-hmm.
Weren't they? Mm.
So are they on 13 or are they on 12?
Oh no, I say 13's this one here, wouldn't you? I'll better check. All right.
That's awesome.
Yep. What if we stick to 11?
We can't. We've cancelled that. So these people on 13,
Yeah.
and they got a booking to show for it.
Yes.
Would you like to get my iPad for me, please? Hopefully you got the right days.
So what? We've had these days all along, haven't we? Hey, wait on. No, we've changed from 13 to 11.
Well, we did apologise profusely to the people on Site 13 for our poor memories. There's something truly magical about these rocks. I really, really enjoy it. I find they're rather special. And I think it's just a pity that more people do not spend longer enjoying them and getting to know them. Most people, 1 or 2 minutes, they've seen enough and they're gone. Bit of a pity in my opinion. Well, isn't this a beautiful place? A lovely morning, crisp, clear. Unfortunately, no clouds in the sky. There were clouds when we arrived here yesterday, but they seem to have all just disappeared, all gone somewhere. A few people packing up, ready to head off. Two reasonably long days down to Alice Springs, heading down to the Fink River. We're going to be here another day, and maybe hopefully tomorrow morning until this evening we'll have another opportunity to do something like this. Just look at the beautiful scenery. One of the problems in the world is that there are too many great places to go and see, and there's just not enough time to go and do it. This area is known as Karlu Karlu or Karlu Karlu to some of the other indigenous groups, and they still conduct their ceremonies in various places around the area. The white explorers called it the Devil's Marbles because they could not believe that the beneficent God could create something quite like this, and it had to be the work of the devil. Quite a famous Australian landscape photographer who was a fundamental Christian refused to call them the Devil's Marbles and insists that they are the God's marbles. Whatever you call them, it doesn't matter. They are truly spectacular.
Please, sir, can I have some more?
Why? What do you want, Noel?
I want banana.
You're not allowed to have banana, I said so.
Oh,
Oh, if you ask nicely.
please, can I have banana?
Right, I'll get you some banana then.
Good.
Nodding in bed, being demanding and difficult to get on with as usual.
Yeah. And that's a private video, not for public show.
There, is that better?
Yes, thank you.
You got banana now, so stop complaining, Noel. You're wonderful. After Karlu Karlu, we drove to Banka Banka station. The Indigenous Land Council, who purchased the property, stopped operating the caravanning park. Such was the outcry from the grey nomads and the general caravan and motorhome touring population that after a couple of years they started up again. They've been slowly doing some improvements. There are now some powered sites. The camping area has been expanded, and last night it was totally packed. There was hardly an empty spot anywhere. But now as I look around I can see 1, 2, 3 caravans in the whole place. Big change from last night, and I'm sure come about 11 o'clock and 12 o'clock the caravans will start rolling in again, and there'll be people be queuing up to get in. There's really quite a cool wind blowing. It's actually reasonably unpleasant to be sitting outside even in the sun. So I'm going to stop this and go inside and warm up. We left Banka Banka and headed north for our first visit to the iconic Daly Waters Pub. Well, we're at the Daly Waters Pub. We left Banka Banka early this morning and drove about 305 kilometres, and to join the hundreds of other caravanners here, packed in everywhere, double rows, triple rows and whatever of caravans. They get several hundred caravans in here a day during the main tourist season. The pub, which was opened not in the 1930s, has become one of the iconic tourist places to visit. We've been past here about 3 times and 4 times in the past, and this is the first time we've decided to actually come here. It's an experience. That's probably all you can say about it. It's an experience. There's a lot of junk around the place. The guy who owns it is a great collector of junk, crashed helicopters, remains of naval aircraft, old petrol houses, traffic lights, and there are pet cattle which wander through the campground and up and down the street, and sometimes block the entire road to traffic. There's a crocodile, there are hens, and there's ducks, know, there seems to be everything. We're going to go for dinner here tonight. Nolene's having steak and barramundi. I'm just having barramundi. The thought of having steak and barramundi together just doesn't really appeal to me. But obviously it appeals to Nolene, so she can have it.
You gotta live.
You got to live once, haven't you?
Yep.
You don't want to be too dangerous. One got time though. Tomorrow, everybody virtually will be packing up and leaving, and the caravan park will virtually empty out. Probably one or two people will stay for a second night. I would say it's a bit like Banka Banka. People use it as a one-night stop and then move on to somewhere else. The tourist operators are all complaining that the business is down, they're not making any money, there aren't any people travelling. But the roads are just chock-a-block with caravans all the time. And you come to play, like Banka Banka, you come here and there's just caravans. At least 200 sites, I'd say, probably with the overflow and all that, I don't know. Maybe more. Lots and lots. Well, we're at Bitter Springs Caravan Park at Mataranka. We went swimming in the Bitter Springs yesterday. The water was lovely and warm, about 32 degrees. The temperature here was getting up to around 28 degrees. The nights are still a little bit chilly, but it's very, very pleasant indeed. You can actually tell we're starting to get into the tropics now. The vegetation's changing, the trees are getting larger, the undergrowth's getting a bit thicker. The birds are changing, different bird sounds in the mornings. It's really, really quite different from what it was further south. Today we're heading off to Katherine, and tomorrow we're going out to the Katherine Gorge and doing a tour, and then we're heading off to Nitmiluk National Park and then on to Darwin. Looking forward to it.
It's really narrow steps, but you should be all right. Yes, I had some little boys escorting me before. Just sneaking past on your right.
We stayed at the large Discovery Park on the outskirts of Katherine. The next morning we drove to Katherine Gorge for our 2-gorge tour. Katherine Gorge in Nitmiluk National Park is one of the most spectacular places in the Northern Territory. The Katherine River flows through a series of 13 gorges but only 3 of these gorges are normally open to tourists. In the wet season, when water levels are much higher, it is possible at times to take a tour on high-powered speedboats through the entire gorge network. Tours with a multi-course dinner are also available. These sandstone rocks were formed up to 1800 million years ago, but the gorge system is only 25 million years old. The Katherine River is one of the major river systems that has its source on the vast Arnhem Land Plateau to the north and east of here. Because the river is enclosed in a corridor of 60 to 90 metre high sheer cliffs, the best way to see these spectacular gorges is by boat. My first experience of Katherine Gorge was many years ago, when the first colour feature film made in Australia was filmed in this region. The movie Jeddah is the story of 2 Aboriginal lovers who had broken the tribal taboos. It ends with the lovers leaping to their deaths from a rock still known as Jeddah Rock. After our cruise, it was time for coffee and cake at the Vista Centre Cafe. Thanks for watching. Remember to like, comment and subscribe. Next time we continue our journey north to Litchfield, Corroboree Billabong and Darwin.